Hello friends, how are you all? Today I will talking to about when does maritime law apply? So let's get started. When does maritime law apply? Uh, Perhaps most obviously, maritime law applies to event that the occur on high seas. In the other hands, accident that's happened beyond the territorial water of any country. Furthermore, maritime law applies to the territorial sea, which are waters within 12 miles of the shore. However, the law's applicability becomes less clear further inland. Early in the United States history, maritime law did not apply to incident to the that occurred within the body of the country, and therefore exclude incidents involving the um, Great Lakes and notable waterways. However, throughout the ninth century, this exclusion is ordered away. Maritime law is applied to navigable waters. A waterway is deemed navigable if by itself or by hunting with other waters. It can be served as a continued it serves it, it serves is involving the Great Lakes and non-tidal inland waterways. Uh, Maritime law is now applied to navigable waters. A water is deemed navigable if by itself or by hunting with other waters. It can serve as a continued highway over which commerce is or may be carried on with other states or foreign countries. Consequently, if a body of water is completely landlocked within a single state, and then it is not navigable uh, for uh, for purposes of admiralty jurisdiction. However, a body of water does not need to flow between states to be deemed navigable. A body of water may be deemed navigable if it is a link in a chain of bodies of water that can be used to service interstate commerce. Ultimately, the test is that the commerce on the state must be a commerce capable of being carried into another state or foreign country. Once this test has been passed, it is likely that maritime law will be applicable, even if it is a recreational vessel. Now I will discuss about the basics of maritime law. Maritime law is derived from many sources. Federal statutes and general maritime law is uh, being two of the most prominent. The source provides some of the maritime doctrines that are commonly used in cases involving vessels and their passengers and crew. Maritime law sets forth many of the basic legal tenets associated with the sea and seamen, including seamen's right to maintenance and cure. That's number one. Maintenance and cure benefits that an injured seaman received from another employer during the course of recovery. Maintenance includes such expenses as the seaman's rent or mortgage, utilities, property tax, homeowners insurance, and food. Cure is similar to works compensations. Benefits for the work-related injury, benefit for land-based employees. It covers costs related to medical treatment for the work-related injury. A seaman is someone who is a captain or crew member aboard a vessel in and crew does not require that captain or crew member aboard vessel in navigation. Also similar to workers' compensation, maintenance and crew does not require that the seaman prove any fault their injury. The employer is required to pay. Number two, the Jones Act. The Jones Act is a federal law that gives seamen a statutory right of the right to sue their employer for personal injury damages. However, a seaman must spend at least 30% of their time working on vessel of the quality of the Jones Act. Not only does the Jones Act provide the seamen of statutory right to sue their employer, it also is the burden of proof needed to prevent causation between the employer's negligence and the seaman's injury. Under the Jones Act, the employer's negligence only needs to play a part in the seaman's injury rather than being a proximate cause. The Jones Act also incorporates aspects of the Federal Employment Liability Act. In particular, it particularly claims filed in state court under the Jones Act are not removable to federal court. Number three of the death of a high sea act. When the death of an individual is caused by a wrongful act of neglect occurring on the high seas, the death of a high sea act grants that a personal representative of the descendant can bring a claim. The 72 suitors clause. Federal law establishes exclusive jurisdiction for admiralty and maritime cases in the federal district. The federal district courts absent any language indicating the contrary within a statutorily created right, such as the Jones Act. However, the saving the suitors clause resorts any on admiralty remedies that might be available to an individual. Example, an admiralty remedy is a suit in which the claim is brought against the ship. Longshore and Harbor Workers Compensation Act. Federal law created certain statutory right for employees who are not necessarily seamen, but nonetheless work on harbors or vessels that are under repair or being built. This law covers longshore workers, ship repairers, ship builders or ship breakers, on the harbor construction adjoining area such as dock. This law provides of the payment of compensation and medical care of an individual injured while on the job or survivor benefit. The Outer Continental Self-Land Act extend the Longshore and Harbor Workers Compensation Act to employees engaged in offshore on the outer continental shelf. Jurisdiction in maritime law cases. In the West, jurisdiction over admiralty law matters was originally given to the federal courts. However, today most admiralty cases can be heard by both state and federal courts under the 72 suitors clause in Title 28 of the United States Code of 28 U.S.C. 133. The exception to is this any matter involving maritime property. This case any may only be tried on federal court. If a state court presides over any admiralty case, The court is required to apply admiralty on maritime law rather than its state law. Thank you.